I still can't believe the position that this Warriors team is in. They literally won the championship this past season, and they didn't have to mortgage their future in any way to do so. And according to GETLIKECOOP, that was always the plan, regardless of any reports that stated otherwise. To quote Joe GETLIKECOOP, everyone wanted us at the beginning of the year, I know, to trade all of those young players and these draft choices and to go get one more guy. One more established, over 30 kind of star. I know what we did was a little bit risky, but I believed, and Bob Myers believed, that if we were going to win this year, how far we were going to go was going to be determined by how good Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green were. Obviously the rest of those guys too, but those three, that's where the money is. So at the end of the day, what we don't want to do, the one thing I cannot and will not stand for is not being able to compete for championships. I don't want to go off a cliff like other teams do when they're really like all in. They got no young players, no draft choices. I just don't think that's a good strategy. What's truly hilarious is that if you go back to the 2021 season, you can find numerous articles critiquing the Warriors' reluctance to go all in. Admittedly, I was one of those people who were surprised that they didn't, but could you really blame me? The Warriors had, and of course still have, a prime Stephen Curry. You just don't know when you're going to get another guy like that. It's completely understandable if you're looking to capitalize on his remaining time with you in any way possible, especially when you have the means to do so and not completely wreck your future. Lost in everything, the Warriors have had and also have some amazing assets. Not only is the Warriors' future not wrecked in any way currently, but it feels as if it's only getting better. It's easy to forget that James Wiseman has only played 39 career NBA games. It's also easy to forget the true potential of Jordan Poole, or better yet, the fact that this guy's only 23 years old. What's ridiculous is that I haven't even brought up Moody or Kuminga, or the fact that the Warriors just added a 6'10", 19-year-old who was ranked as the 5th overall player in their recruiting class. Guys, this video we have a ton to discuss, but before we go any further, let's get a word from our sponsor. I want to give a huge shout out to Beard Club for sponsoring today's content. Beard Club delivers quality hardware and consumables that'll help you get a better, thicker, and fuller looking beard. One thing that I absolutely love about Beard Club is their beard quiz. What this beard quiz does is actually remarkable. It gives Beard Club all of the information that they need to personally recommend a grooming kit that's tailored to your needs. Now, the highlight of their grooming kit is the PT45 trimmer. This thing is powerful yet graceful at the same time. It's also super sturdy, and the battery life comes in clutch, just like our guy James Harden, who just so happens to be an investor in this company. We have all seen James Harden's beard. We know that this guy is not investing in a product that's not getting him right. Another massive perk of going with the Beard Club is that they have this awesome growth kit. This kit features sprays to strengthen and moisturize your beard hair, oils that prime follicles for beard growth, and a derma roller that rejuvenates dormant hair follicles. Guys, no matter what type of beard that you have, Beard Club has the perfect kit to fit your needs. Now, of course, I've got a link for you guys. Go to beardclub.com/DCoop and use code DCoop for 20% off of your first order. I want to give a major shout out to Beard Club again for supporting our channel and our patches. While the Warriors have a number of young prospects worth focusing on for this video, we're mainly going to focus on none other than Patrick Baldwin Jr. Now, before I really get going, I like to preface everything by saying that I am completely aware that we're only a couple of games into the preseason, and that, of course, preseason basketball and small sample sizes will never tell us everything that we need to know. That being said, I really like some things that I see from the young Warriors, especially Patrick Baldwin Jr. and James Wiseman. If you guys want a James Wiseman video, just let me know down in the comments below. Now, with that out of the way, let's focus on Patrick Baldwin Jr., the 6'10" forward from Milwaukee. Guys, Patrick Baldwin Jr.'s high school tape was so filthy that some people believe that he was a 6'10" Klay Thompson. Others were calling him another Michael Porter Jr. If you guys couldn't tell based off of the comparisons, Patrick Baldwin Jr. can shoot the lights out of the basketball. NBADraft.net described Patrick Baldwin Jr. as somebody who has the type of size and length that stands out, has the makings of a floor spacer from deep with a pristine form and follow through. NBADraft.net also went on to say that Patrick Baldwin Jr. is somebody who can rack up points in bunches, and also somebody who has flash tough shot making ability, showing the ability to hit fading shots or using rangy crossovers when pulling up off the dribble sparingly. To be short, Patrick Baldwin is a 6'10 bucket. This summer, the Golden State Warriors would select Patrick Baldwin 28th overall. Patrick Baldwin falling this far was a shock to me. This was somebody that absolutely lit things up in high school, and I know that every NBA player does, but to me, Patrick Baldwin was just a different kind of nice. It's not often that you see guys at 6'10 display the touch and the creativity that he does. A major reason for Patrick Baldwin Jr.'s slide in the 2022 NBA draft was the fact that he struggled his 1 year at Milwaukee. That being said, it's still always a surprise to me to see a guy so talented fall that late, especially when we've seen guys not have these great college seasons but still go on to get drafted pretty high because of their talent alone. Go look at Cam Reddish for the New York Knicks or Zaire Williams for the Memphis Grizzlies. I'll never forget, Zaire's year at Stanford was incredibly up and down. He was another one of those guys that was touted as a sharpshooter but struggled to shoot the ball in college. To get back to Patrick Baldwin Jr., unfortunately, he had some ugly tape, averaging 12 points and only shooting 34% from the field and 26% from three on about 6 attempts per game. But again, he was never solely these struggles. In high school, he had a season-ending ankle injury his senior season that definitely had an impact on his college career. Speaking of college, in college he would suffer another ankle injury, never really appear to be fully healthy, and then eventually get shut down because things got so bad. With Patrick Baldwin Jr., there's so much to love, but just like with every prospect that falls, there are always going to be concerns. The shot selection was questionable. There were a number of lapses, and then there's that whole durability stuff. And also, to add insult to injury, he didn't really do too well at the combine. According to NBADraft.net, he recorded one of the lowest vertical jump numbers in the event's history at 26 inches, while also struggling with the agility and sprinting portions of the testing. Now, of course, this wouldn't be the end of the world because basketball at the end of the day goes far beyond just athletic testing. But this also wouldn't be the end of the world because this guy was likely not 100%. I will say this, if you've watched Patrick Baldwin Jr. play in the preseason, you'd be surprised by his poor combine numbers. He looks smooth and nimble for somebody that's his size. He looks so smooth that at times you really do wonder how bad his ankle injury was affecting him in college. Already in his first few preseason games, we've seen his tough shot making and shooting ability come into play. In his second preseason game, he would go 4 of 6 from 3 for 12 points and grab 6 boards. And I'm going to sound nasty saying this, but he was also a team high plus 23. The best part about this performance to me was that he played with confidence and moved with a purpose. Again, guys, this was somebody that was ranked in the top 10 of their recruiting class. This guy was right behind Banchero and right in front of Jabari. It's wild to me to think that if he took the Shaedon Sharpe approach and didn't play a game in college instead of going to play for his dad, that he'd undoubtedly go higher than 28th overall. This may be an unpopular opinion, but regardless of any injury, I always felt as if Baldwin was asked to do too much for a team that simply wasn't very good and had very little spacing. I think at the NBA level, playing off ball or off of the gravity of somebody like a Steph Curry could do wonders for his game. It's a lot easier to get into a rhythm when you're getting good quality looks as opposed to feeling like you have to force everything or your team simply won't score on that possession. I know I bring this up pretty often, but the Warriors' spacing and Curry's gravity was so lethal that we had guys like Kevin Durant getting uncontested dunks on the secondary break. Imagine seeing Kevin Durant coming down the lane and thinking that, hey, we're just going to give you a dunk because we don't want Steph Curry getting started. Now, naturally, if you're going to play with Steph Curry or Klay Thompson or some of these other talented Warriors, you sort of have to see the floor. With a deep Warriors rotation, the question arises, how does a player like Baldwin find minutes? Warriors GM Bob Myers said that PBJ is likely to start in the G League, but should have an opportunity to earn minutes along the way. Personally, I'm all for this. Oftentimes, I feel like the G League is an underutilized tool in today's NBA. Apparently, Patrick Baldwin Jr. has also had talks with the team about what his path to playing time looks like. According to Pat in Golden State, it starts with defense and rebounding. Pat's exact words were, "If you can defend for Steve Kerr, you can play." Though Patrick tested poorly at the combine and likely for a good reason, he does have the length and IQ that you desire out of a prototypical wing or small ball 4. Standing at 6'10", he possesses nearly a 7'2" wingspan, meaning that as long as he plays with effort and energy, he should be a solid rebounder at worst. And as long as his positioning is solid, he should also be able to disrupt some shots on the defensive side of the ball, which I'm sure Draymond Green would make sure of anyways. Now, I don't want to overgas Patrick Baldwin Jr., but I really do feel like Patrick Baldwin Jr. couldn't have landed on a better team. It's like these two are perfect for each other. Now, while I do have high hopes for Pat, I do want to maintain a level head. This video isn't my way of saying that he'll be a star or anything like that. This is just more so my way of saying that I like his game and I like his prospects of becoming a solid NBA player, who could maybe even be more than that. Who knows at the end of the day? Guys, in the comments below, let me know what you think of Patrick Baldwin Jr. and also let me know what you think of the Golden State Warriors this upcoming season. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GETLIKECOOP, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.